In this valley shrouded in fog all year round, people believed in fate. They believed in what was decided by the mountain, by the stream, and by the words of the village elder. They believed in the safety of the crowd. But Clara did not. Or perhaps she simply had no other choice but not to believe. Her younger brother Andrew was dying. His breath was as thin as smoke, his skin burning with fever that even the village midwife had given up on. "It's the forest's curse," the old woman had said. "Return him to the forest. Don't drag the whole village down with you." That night, Clara didn't sleep. She sat in the dark, clutching the worn-out medical notebook her mother had left behind. Her mother had been the only one who dared to defy the elder, and she had died in a snowstorm on Mount Vorga. Under the flickering oil lamp, Clara's finger stopped on a yellowed page, a drawing of a flower called Moonheart. It grew only on the peak of Vorga, a place said to be cursed. Beneath the drawing were her mother's scrawled words: "Cures all ailments born of the mountain's cold." A desperate hope flickered. At dawn, when the fog still blanketed the valley, Clara packed some dried food, her father's old dagger, and a coil of rope. She kissed Andrew's burning forehead and stepped outside. The whole village was waiting. Elder, sternly, "Clara, where are you going?" Clara lifted her head. Her eyes were dry from a sleepless night. "I'm going to Mount Vorga." A murmur of horror rippled through the crowd. "She's mad. She wants to die. She'll bring the curse upon us all." The elder struck his wooden staff against the ground. "Your mother died there. The mountain spares no arrogance. Go back, Clara. Accept your brother's fate." "Accept it?" Clara's voice cracked. "Accept watching my brother die while I still breathe? If that's fate, I refuse it." The elder's voice hardened. "Will you defy the whole village?" Clara looked around. She saw fear in their eyes, saw rejection. Not a single person stepped forward. Not one. She tightened her backpack straps. The loneliness was like ice piercing her bones. In that moment, Clara understood. Walking alone is never easy. She said nothing more. She slipped through the silent crowd. They stepped aside as if she were a disease. As she took her first step up the mountain path, she could feel their eyes stabbing into her back, cold and merciless. Clara's journey was a battle, not against the villagers anymore, but against Vorga itself. The mountain seemed alive, and it wanted to break her. On the first day, she barely escaped a rock slide. On the second, she hid for hours inside a hollow tree to avoid a black bear. At night, wolves howled in the dark, and Clara clutched her dagger, too afraid to close her eyes. Loneliness was worse than any beast. No one to talk to, no one to share the fear with. Every cut, every bruise, she had to tend to herself. By the fourth day, she was exhausted. Her food was gone. She collapsed by a dried-up stream, lips cracked and bleeding. Clara, weakly, "Mother, I can't do this anymore." Her eyes closed. Andrew's face appeared, fragile, waiting. Then she remembered the villagers' eyes, the ones that wanted her to fail, to die, to prove them right. No, she couldn't let them be right. A strange strength rose inside her, not of muscle, but of will, the strength of someone with nothing left to lose but herself. She drove her dagger into the ground and forced herself up. She looked toward the misty peak, and she kept walking, not out of hope, but because she refused to give up. Then tragedy struck. Only a few hundred meters from the summit, a blizzard hit. The wind threw her down. Snow blinded her. She stood on a narrow ledge, cliff on one side, abyss on the other. She tried to grab a rock, but her hands were numb. The rope tied around her waist got caught in a crevice below. She slipped and fell. The rope jerked her to a stop, leaving her dangling over the void. Above her, the cliff was sheer ice. The storm howled, tearing at her body. She hung there between life and death. she could let go. It would be easy. No more pain. No more loneliness. But then, through the snow, she saw something, just a few meters away. A small crevice sheltered a shimmering silver-purple flower. Its glow was soft, like moonlight. The Moonheart, so close. In that moment, Clara felt no fear, no thoughts of death or the villagers, only one thought: get it. She began to swing herself toward it. The wind cut into her face like knives. "Ah!" she roared, not from fear but from effort. She swung once, missed, twice. The wind shoved her back. She looked down at the abyss, then back at the flower. Clara, screaming into the storm. "No!" With a final desperate lunge, she threw herself against the cliff. Pain exploded through her body, but her fingers brushed the stem. She grabbed it, held tight. Hanging by one arm, she plucked the flower with the other and tucked it against her chest, the warmest place left. Then she began to climb back up. Her hands bled, but her eyes blazed. She was no longer Clara of the valley. She was the woman who conquered Mount Vorga. When Clara returned to the village, she looked like she had come back from the dead. Torn clothes, cuts across her face, but her back was straight. The villagers gathered again. When they saw the Moonheart flower in her hand, they fell silent. The elder's staff trembled in his grip. He could not believe what he saw. Clara didn't look at anyone. She walked straight past them. The crowd stepped aside, not from fear this time, but something like respect. She entered her home and brewed the flower into medicine. Its warmth spread through the air. 3 days later, Andrew opened his eyes. The fever was gone. Clara sat by his bed, wiping his face. She looked out the window toward Mount Vorga, now clear of clouds. She had saved Andrew, but she knew the one truly saved on that mountain was herself. Walking alone never gives you companions, but it gives you strength. The strength to believe in yourself when no one else will. Walking alone is never easy, but it's what makes you truly strong. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more inspiring stories like this one.